The state of New York is taking new and additional steps this summer to try to better help hikers coming here to the high peaks of the Adirondacks. This week, Department of Environmental Conservation Commissioner Basil Sagos came to the Adirondack Park to tout what makes the high peaks so spectacular and such a popular destination for tourists, especially hikers.
You really get a sense why people come to these places, right? This is paradise. This is New York's Yellowstone. And New Yorkers have discovered that, and visitors from across the world have discovered these places, or really rediscovered these places. Beautiful, remote, protected, pristine. You see the incredible visitation even pre-pandemic. 22% increase to the Adirondacks and the Catskills over the course of the last 10 years. And then during the pandemic, of course, we know that the numbers exploded in our outdoors. People finding themselves in nature after many months of being cooped up. So, of course, we saw huge traffic here in the Adirondacks and down in the Catskills.
Sagos says it's a good problem to have, but it does create some challenges, which is why he and other state and community leaders gathered here at Marcy Field in Keene on Victoria Day to welcome Canadians and many other visitors to the High Peaks region to kick off the summer season, but at the same time asking those coming to the Adirondacks to be prepared for their visit.
Public safety really begins with the visitor, right? It begins with creating a smart plan for visiting the Adirondacks, the Catskills, the wild places that we have, preparing for danger, right? Knowing your limits, knowing your personal limits, preparing, bringing the right clothes, bringing a change of clothes, bringing food, all the things that you think are important for getting into the backcountry. That means life and death, and it really does. Rangers could discuss every year the problems that they've had getting people out of the backcountry that didn't prepare. And as recently as this weekend, we actually lost 2 people, one in the Adirondacks, one in the Catskills, and then a significant rescue yesterday of a person that broke both his legs. These are not areas to be trifled with. These are very serious wild places and very remote wild places. And if you don't go into the woods prepared, you're really asking for trouble or worse. So this is, first and foremost, a call to the public for their engagement and their awareness about the need for public safety.
To better manage traffic and the crowds, the DEC is teaming up with the Adirondack Mountain Reserve for a second summer, offering an online reservation system to provide hikers with a reserved parking spot in the AMR parking lot off Route 73 in Keene. Nearly 26,000 hikers have signed up to reserve parking spots. The DEC is also once again teaming up with Essex County to offer free shuttle buses that will travel Route 73 in hopes of easing roadside parking jams that can be dangerous.
I think if all of you traveled these roads, Route 73, back in the day when there wasn't a control on parking in that particular location, it was a very dangerous corner. People parking on shoulders, walking across the street, sprinting across the street, trying to evade traffic. And it's a miracle that we didn't have an incident. But thanks to AMR and DEC and this great partnership that we did to establish this parking system, this parking reservation system, it has worked. Year 1 worked, and we are proud to be part of this year 2.
Shuttles will run from Marcy Field to the trailheads at Rooster Combe, Giant Mountain, and Roaring Brook Falls, all summer and into the fall.
We had 2 running last year. This year we'll have 4, and they all look like this. They're all modern buses with bike racks in the front, and they're going to be a big boost to getting people safely to those trailheads.
Town Supervisor Joe Pete Wilson says the steps being taken will make hiking the Adirondacks safer and more enjoyable for visitors and residents alike.
This is Victoria Day today, and it was the holiday weekend, and we really did see a strong return in Canadian traffic. So that's leading me to believe that we're going to be busy this summer. That, with the border restrictions eased, we'll have high numbers again of Canadian visitors. So we're really preparing fully.
And with that in mind, second season now of the reservation system at AMR, 2 more shuttle buses. Are these steps you think are going to help control the crowds and make it a better, enjoyable experience for hikers?
Yes, I think now that people are used to the reservation system, there were some growing pains, but I think now the users of that recognize that it's not a competition to get a spot. You make your reservation, you don't have to leave home at 1 a.m. and still gamble whether you're going to have parking. So I think that's been very successful at managing the numbers and helping with roadside safety. The parking restrictions have helped. The shuttles, they're a tool people are learning to use, and people who use them really enjoy it and recognize, yeah, it's an extra 10 minutes at each end of my hike, but it eliminates so much stress. So yeah, so all these tools added up are really making a difference.
Commissioner Sagos also announced the DEC is hiring 29 new assistant forest rangers, with 19 of them set to work in the Adirondacks. Funding for the new class of rangers, the shuttle buses, and the other projects is all coming from the state's Environmental Protection Fund, $8 million that's being set aside for the Adirondack wilderness.